Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a pleasure sharing this content. Thank you for your support. I'm going to jump right into the topic. Yesterday I described the topic, the structure of C programming. Today I'm going to explain the decision control statements or control statements. So today's agenda is, I'm going to describe about if statement, and today's agenda is introduction, explanation, the if statement, how do we express a condition in C, flow of control, and example. So coming to the introduction, decision making. So we all take decisions based off our situations around, right? So uh, an example would be whether or not you should buy a grocery or some other aspects of our lives, right? So how do we make decisions is the question here. So that is how this topic originated. So C language must be able to perform different set of actions depending on circumstances. So C has three major decision making instructions. They are the if statement, the if else statement, and the switch statement. So I'm going to explain what these things are exactly in the subsequent. In this video, I'm going to describe about the if statement. So why do we use decision making statements in C? So to explain that, in the C programming that we discussed earlier, we have used sequential control structure in which the various steps are executed sequentially, which means that lines of code are executed in the same order in which they appear in the program. This is because, as we discussed earlier in C, is a procedural language, right? So, however, in serious programming situations, we need to make decisions based off our situation. So, in order to make decisions, we need to write some code. So, here comes the part if statements or the decision making statements. So many times we want a set of instructions to be executed in one situation and an entirely different set of instructions to be executed in an entirely different situation, right? So coming to the different types of decision making statements in C, there are if statement, if else statement, and switch statement. So coming to the if statement, like most languages, C uses the keyword if to implement the decision making statement, right? So if is the keyword and the expression or the condition is placed in the parenthesis right beside the if statement. So if keyword, and the code that needs to be executed is placed right beneath it, between in the form of curly braces. So this is a basic structure of the code. You have to memorize the structure. It's basically simple, right? So coming to the question, we all would have that question on how this condition is expressed in C, right? So there is a certain way to express this condition in C. So normally we use equal to as an assignment operator, but here to evaluate an expression we use double equal to, right? That's what the note states here. Double equal to is used for comparing two values whether or not they are equal or not, right? So the first x equal to y is means x equal to y, and the second expression x not equal to y is given by that expression, and the remaining equations you already know them. So coming to the flow of control, this is a simple diagram. I will explain this. You can write a matter on this on your own in your examination if at all this question appears, right? So basically the control starts, the control enters into the test expression, and it checks whether the expression is true or false, right? If the expression is true, it enters the body of the if statement and executes the body and exits the body and executes the following statements that are written after the if statement in a procedural fashion, right? So if the expression is false, then the control exits the if statement and executes the statements that are written after the if statement. That's what this control flow diagram indicates. So I'm going to give you an example and with a control flow diagram. So this is the example with the relevant control flow diagram. So basically this example is about calculation of total expenses. So what this code is, as I described in the structure of C programming, I am going to divide this code for you to comprehend, right? So basically the documentation section states that calculation of the total expenses. This part is a documentation section as I described in the earlier video. And coming to the main part, so this is a main function. The control enters the main function, that is the start, which is described in this diagram, right? So and then the global declaration part, where we assign variable names or we initiate the variable names. This is known as the global declaration part. So you have to psychologically imprint this as being a block. You can draw a block, right? So coming to the input output functions, IO functions, as we described in the structure of C programming, which I will be posting a link on the top right corner. You can go and watch that structure of C programming video if at all you need it. So, and then lastly, we are going to enter into the condition. So that is what I described here as being a rhombus here. So this actually represents a condition. So this is the diagram that you should be drawing. So this previous diagram is a drawing that I drew just for you to understand, but this is the actual drawing, right? You have to draw the exact shapes because these are the rules of drawing a statement. If at all you have studied microprocessors and microcontrollers, you would be writing in this form. So as I was an EC student in my diploma, I used to write codes and the basic control flows in this fashion. So coming to IT, this is necessary, but yeah, this is necessary for you to write in this format, draw in this format, right? So coming to the if statement, so basically this diagram describes the program. It's so simple, right? So the expression is first checked, right? Validated. If the expression is not true, which is no, then it exits the if code. And the and if the expression is true, then it enters the no if statement. This if statement instructed the code to display this message, which is print what an obedient servant you are. So that is the statement that it wanted us to display. So after that, the control exited the if statement, and this circle indicates any other statements that are written after C, and then the control exited the program. So coming to the example 2, I have described a small example. It's just simple, right? So this is a demonstration of if statement. This is a basic example that you can write for basically demonstrating an if statement, right? So so first the main function and the global declaration part, and then the IO part. This is the important part, and coming to the main core meat of the program, which is the if statement. So it's basically stating that the num, or the variable that we initiated in the global declaration part, should be less than or equal to 10, right? That is the expression. If this variable is less than or equal to 10, then the statement that is present in the if statement, which is the print function statement, uh, should be printed. That is what we have written in the code. If at all the num variable is exceeds 10 value, then the control is going to exit. So that is what the example code example 2 is describing. So I'm going to summarize what I have described in this video. So we explained about what decision making is, right? So in the introduction part, and I explained how decision making exactly works in C, and I explained the if statement, right? And several types of decision making statements, and then I explained the if statement, and then we got a question, how do we express a condition in C? So we resolve that question, and then the control structure or the flow of control of C, of if statement, and then we explained with an example. So thank you guys for your support. It's been a pleasure sharing this content. Do subscribe to our channel. And so if If you want any relevant information or the notes about the episode, this will be disclosed through our Instagram page PMYG_Edu or our mail Peace Mountains Youth Group @gmail.com, and the other details will be described over our DMs. Thank you.